what's going on? Welcome to the live stream. It is November 2nd. Spooky season has come and gone. It's over. And, well, we got a lot to talk about today. Ooh, baby. Do you feel it? Do you feel that energy today? Because there's some energy here, folks. There is. We got a lot to talk about today. We haven't talked in a while, and I did that on purpose because there just hasn't been a lot to really talk about, but it's been a few weeks. We let it compile, and then we go for it, right? So since we've last talked, we've had some exclusives from Storm Arena. Juhn's done some interviews. Hawk, what's going on, my man? We got Eduardo in the building. We got Jakob in the building. Hello. Storm changed Juhn's life? Maybe. I don't know. Are you a gooner? I don't even know what the hell that means, so I'm going to say no. Of course not. If you could see my biceps right now, they're huge. I put Papa Pump Scott Steiner to shame. Does any gooner want to mess with that? I don't think so. But nonetheless, about the epic physique. I'm just kidding. But no, I'm not a gooner. Little Blade, what's going on, dude? What's going on? But yeah, we got a lot to talk about because to be honest, I'm not really that happy with either company at the moment. And we're going to talk about why. Because there's a little bit of a different aspect for each company that I'm not particularly thrilled with. So, for those that say, oh, you're standing towards Storm or you're standing towards Jada, not the case. I call it as I see it, and I don't see it very good right now. I don't see it very good for either of them right now. I'm a little upset with both. We're going to talk about it. We are. So, I don't know. You're watching Scream 2. It's good. Scream 2 is a fine film. It's actually probably the second best one. I know, believe it or not, seeing it's the second one, but it is technically, to me, at least, it's the second best one. But we're going to talk about it, because I feel like there's got to be some conversation, because no one else talks about it, you know? Everyone else sits there and pitter-patters around the obvious, and they're afraid to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it. So, we can either start with Jada, or we can start with Storm. Your choice. Oh, no, you finished the Mars video. You gotta finish the Mars video. Did I crop that weird? Maybe I did crop that weird. I don't know. But we're going to figure it out one way or another. We are. But I want your guys' opinion. You'll watch it after the live? Okay. That probably counts as more views for him ultimately. So maybe that works out better. Make sure you guys like the stream. It's big important thing there that we like the stream. Gotta like the stream. It helps the views. It does. There's 8 in here. I should see 8 likes. Hopefully. If you're enjoying it. But, yeah. I mean, where do we want to start? Come on, I need someone. The first one to say something, that's where we're starting. Because I can go either way on this one. I really can. I got plenty to say about both. I do. So, we're going to start with Jada? All right, let's go with Jada. Let's start with Jada. We'll start with Jada. Start with Jada. That's not Jada. Hold on. Let me find the imagery here. Not that. Not that. Not that. My God, not that. Plenty to talk about. Eduardo. Oh, we're going to talk about it all, my friend. Don't you worry. Let's get going, huh? Let's talk about Jada Toys. And I'm glad you brought up Jada, because it's what's fresh in my mind at the moment is Jada Toys. So, I'm glad that's what we're going to go about. So, hold on. Hold on. There we go. All right. Let's talk Jada Toys. So Juhn is back on YouTube. I did the videos. We talked about it. You guys saw what he talked about. It was refreshing to see him back on YouTube, but again, as many of you guys are pointing out, it just doesn't seem like there's an excitement for the line anymore. Am I right? JBTM, what's going on? And that's the thing, too. It's like, I feel like they don't even know that people want to collect both, right? I feel like there's been such an emphasis on, oh, it's a war, pick a side. You have to pick a side. Pick a side or you're an idiot. You don't have to pick a side. That's the funny thing about this, is you really don't, but I feel like now everybody is on that mindset that you must pick a side. You have to. How could you not? You don't have to, but I feel like even Jada themselves is now under the interpretation that they must pick a side. How could we possibly compete? It just seems that way. Trying to collect both, but it's hard when prices are going up. I rock with both Jada and Storm, as do I. And you can. I mean, obviously you can pick a side if you want, if you're that kind of guy. You want to be loyal to a company, or you just don't want to spend the money on both lines, that's fair. Hey, that's fair. And I'm all for what's fair. But I couldn't help but notice that ever since Storm Arena has entered the picture, that there has just been a lack of enthusiasm, right? Clearly, they're still doing the same old thing. Jada's still moving along. They're still pumping out figures. But I couldn't help but notice this year, things have just not gone Jada's way. Angel, what's going on? And what do I mean by that? Well, for one, we haven't gotten a new character from Jada since May. And it might have even been sooner than that. I'd have to go back and check my video on when I actually got Vega. But to call it a year, being the last figure that we're technically getting, that we're aware of, I can't think of anything else that could be announced where they slip it in at the very end, but the last figure that we got from Jada for this year, as of right now, is Cammy. And we've got almost a full fourth quarter left. Seems uncharacteristic. We usually get about 6 figures, new characters a year, and then we get a few play. But even for player 2s, it seems to be lacking just a little bit. And when you look at, you look at it on paper, and it's a fine year for Jada. Like, it's really not that bad of a year. You look at the year, we got Blanca, we got Sagat, we got Fei Long, we got Fei Long in purple, we got Blue Guile, we got 2 Comic-Con exclusives, and we got Cammy. So when you look at it on paper, it doesn't seem that bad. Actually seems pretty impressive. But then you start to notice, well, they're just repaints, a lot of them, with like 1 extra accessory. So I guess it just really depends on what you consider successful. If that's successful to you, where we get 5 player 2s and 3 new characters, then that's a great year. But I just couldn't help but notice that, I don't know, it seems odd that things just dropped off at the beginning of October and nothing else is scheduled for the year. That just seems like a lot of empty space in there. It does. Jada dropped the ball this year, but at the same time, some of the stuff they are working on look great. Yeah, but a lot of the stuff that they're working on, they've been working on for a while. And I'm not even just talking Street Fighter. I mean, where are the other figures from freaking Cyberpunk? Those figures have been announced forever. We've literally only had 2 characters of Cyberpunk for like a year. Over a year now. So it's like, what's going on there? Where are the new characters for that? Starscreamer, what's going on, man? Storm had an incredible year. Not necessarily. Don't worry, I'm going to get to Storm. If it feels like I'm picking on Jada, just wait till I get to Storm. You're going to want to stick around. You wait till I get to Storm. I got plenty in the tank. I got a freaking... I got a whole... Don't... I'm getting too worked up already. Don't worry. I'm coming for Storm, too. If it seems like I'm just going at Jada right now, oh, you wait till I get to Storm. They're not out of the fire either. But it does seem like, even with those interviews with Juhn, it does seem like that a little bit of the gusto, the enthusiasm, the laughter, the smiles, it just seems like there's a lack of enthusiasm. And who could blame them? They've literally had the community almost do a 180 on them. So maybe are they a little hurt? Sure, but that's business. It's not personal, it's business. You hear that all the time. But I've literally seen people like, some of the popular reviewers, I don't want to throw out names, that once praised Jada's name for the articulation, the price, everything, and then as soon as Storm came around, it's like, well, Jada is great, but Jada's Jada. This is a whole nother level. And that might be fair. But it does seem to have taken the wind out of their sails, if you will. And Juhn did seem a little bit bored, but he always seems a little bit bored. That's just kind of the way he talks, but I don't think he's bored. I think it's a little irritated because they were in a one-man race and they were killing it. You literally couldn't go. Still to this day, there's nothing bad that you can actually see about Jada Toys as far as their Street Fighter figures. Now, are there some constructive criticisms out there as far as sculpting and shading and some things like that? Sure. But no one has ever came out and actually said, oh, Jada figures stink. They're worthless. You go out to you look up Hasbro, Marvel Legends, you look up McFarlane, you're going to find videos that say that about those companies. But you can't find a hit piece on Jada Toys. So why they've, lost their excitement for Street Fighter, the brand that literally put them on the map as far as an action figure company, is puzzling to me. But a lot of that, we did find out that their contract either ended or Target ended up dropping them. And that was neither confirmed nor denied. All we know is that after Sagat and Blanca is that Target ended up, either the contract ended and they didn't redo it, or they got dropped. So I don't know what happened there, but that couldn't have helped things as far as keeping the momentum and positivity alive, right? I think Storm is going to have a great first half in 2026, and then it's going to go downhill. I think Jada is going to have a great second half in 2026. This is just my prediction, and that's fair. I don't know. Jada's Akuma, though, is probably the best looking figure they have so far. Its Storm is going to have to step up on their Akuma because I low-key like Jada's better just visually alone. Walmart now has the Blue Guile, and that's fine. They ended up not doing too bad. Walmart ended up carrying a lot more of their figures, so that's good. I want to go into, I don't want you guys just sticking at, we're not just going to stare at the Jada logo, so let me get some things loaded up for you, but, yeah, I don't know. And it was very interesting because the way, there's just not a lot of emphasis, right? And maybe that's the issue. Maybe they don't need to announce these figures so early in advance, because then it's like they look done to the normal person, right? They look done. They look like they're finished. It looks like it's over, but then it's like that's far from being finished. It's far from being over. It's far from hitting the shelves, right? So I don't know. I am getting concerned on the attitude. And then you hear Juhn literally say in the interview that, they're going to start focusing on Invincible as far as the priority. But is Invincible, I know people are excited about Invincible, but it doesn't have Street Fighter popularity. It doesn't. That's fine if you want to make that argument, but I personally, I look at videos covering the Invincible line, and I look at videos covering Street Fighter, and there's just it's not even close to as far as views, right? It's just not even close. So while you can sit there and make the argument that, I'm sure it'll do fine, but it doesn't have Street Fighter level popularity. It just doesn't. So why they feel like that's going to be their meat and potatoes now, I don't know. It's like you said, Richie, they all had this momentum, but then they got cold feet and decided to pump the brakes on releasing figures and keeping up, all because of Storm. It's factual. Could be a statement. He should have done is ignore Storm and keep track when it comes to releasing figures and not let another company rock their boat. The thing is, too, though, is I keep hearing a lot of people saying, oh, tariffs happen. Tariffs happen for everybody. So I don't know why Jada gets such a bigger leniency when it comes to the tariffs than any other toy company. I don't understand it. Was there something bigger there that happened with the shipping? Because literally Mattel had to deal with tariffs. Hasbro had to deal with tariffs. McFarlane had to deal with tariffs. Every major company had to deal with tariffs. So I don't know why why Jada gets such a pass on that. Why do they get the pass? I don't get it. The thing is I don't think that people want to accept the fact that Jada has seemed to have lost a little momentum. They don't seem as excited about their Street Fighter property. They seem a little worn out. They seem like they're tired about answering questions about Storm Arena, even though they actually haven't. They're tired of hearing the name. So maybe that's what maybe they like to deal with properties that don't have that market familiarity, right? I think everybody likes the Jada Akuma. But I do think they're sick of hearing it already. I spoke to an insider at NYCC, and a lot of companies are having a hard time getting their prototypes. I mean, that's the breaks. It's not like the tariffs seem to be going anywhere. So, I mean, everyone's got to pivot. It just seems like whenever I talk to people about Jada, it's like, oh, tariffs. Tariffs have really slowed them. Well, how come everybody else seems to have not had to delay figures that far out? At least I haven't noticed any. Now, could there have been some in SH Figuarts? Maybe. I don't know. I don't cover them. But I'm looking at McFarlane. It does seem like their Batman Returns line got pushed out maybe a month or two longer than what they were supposed to be. But it's like, I'm pretty sure Balrog and Akuma were supposed to hit this year. And they haven't yet. Juhn used to say he collects Storm. He doesn't say it anymore. I'm sure he does. D Amazing has reviewed Jada, Balrog, and Akuma, and both look awesome, to be honest. I don't watch D Amazing, so I don't know. How do you get Akuma already? Well, Jada sent it to him. That's how any reviewer gets it that early. If they went with everything according to plan, when companies can't troubleshoot and look for possible QC, a common fig might get 3 or 5 prototypes to ship from China to US, but things get locked in customs. Factual. If I'm Jada, you should do the Ultra Street Fighter 4 game. Lots of characters to work with, and you keep the heat of Storm area at bay. The thing is, though, that even if they do an entire different property, it's not going to stop the comparisons with Storm Arena. It's not. Because look at it right now. They're literally not even doing the same games yet. And people are comparing these figures that you see on the screen to Storm Arena. So it doesn't even matter if they do the same game. Now, it's unfortunate that they are doing the same property. But even right now, people are still comparing the two figures. So it's very interesting. And had a late night barbecue. Nice. If Juhn doesn't mention Storm by name, I doubt he will say collects them now, seen as promoting your competition. Well, that's the thing, is you never really see these companies. Once there's competition, one of the rule of thumbs is you don't bring up your competition's name because you don't want to give them the satisfaction that you're even in their head. That's why you don't ever, you go to a Coke meeting or a Coke press conference, they're not saying Pepsi by name. You go to a Powerade, you're not hearing them talk about Gatorade. It's like, do you ever drink Gatorade? Well, it's like, you just don't bring up competition. It's kind of a rule of thumb. You don't want to acknowledge your competition. You don't want to give them the light of day. You don't want to even think for a second that your competition is in your head. So they're not going to do that. If they went with everything according to plan, then they wouldn't Okay, let me read that again. If they went with everything according to plan, then they wouldn't hear any more about Street Fighter. Again, my bad. No, you're good. Are the Akuma and Balrog really releasing next year? I mean, that's if you're ordering through Big Bad Toy Store. If you're going to try and get them through AliExpress or eBay through Chinese vendors, then you could potentially and probably have them this year. Probably. But, if you go that route, just know you're not going to be paying $35. Granted, again, and we'll talk about that. I hate when people quote the retail price. Because if you buy it for $35 anywhere on the internet, it's not free. So these things are closer to $40 already. Do you guys not count that? So when you guys buy this Balrog figure and the total comes out to $44 with the tariff charge and the shipping that Big Bad Toy Store or Entertainment Earth counts, do you guys still say, oh, I only paid $35 for the figure? Is that how you guys do it? Because that's how a lot of people talk in this community. They don't really count the extra stuff. When somebody asks me how much I paid for something, I give them the total cost. When somebody comes up to me and asks me, okay, maybe not comes up, no one would come up and ask me this, but if someone was in my house and said, hey, how much did you pay for that TV? I don't say $699. I don't quote the retail price. I say with taxes and everything, it came out to about $750. I don't say, oh, it was $699. I just don't do it that way. Am I weird for doing that way? Is that not how people do it? Because I am so sick of people saying about Storm Arena, they're $25. In what world are they $25? Where? Show me. I'll buy 6 of them right now. What $25? Where? I'm so sick of everybody promoting that price. They haven't been $25 or advertised as $25 literally for almost over a year. But yet that seems to be the main punching and point that people and reviewers seem to say at the start of every video. Oh, they're only $25. Where? Bitch, where? Show me. Show me where you paid that price. I literally saw a reviewer put out a short for the yellow Ken from NYCC. He said, and literally the first thing he said out of his mouth was, these things are only $25. It's like, dude, if you were at New York Comic Con, the vendor was selling them for $42. And that wasn't with tax or anything. So I don't know why people keep saying it was $25. Where? Show me. It's not. Quit quoting Storm's price. That's a Hong Kong website. If you live in Hong Kong, then yes, you can get them for $25. I don't know anybody that does, Mr. Lee might live out there. I'm not sure, but where? But it does seem like that, Jada is paying attention. Maybe they'll get more excited. Maybe they're a little bummed out about where they're currently at and that they can't get the new figures out until they finish Street Fighter Ultra. Because to me, it sounds like Juhn is ready for the new 2.0 bodies. And these last 5 figures have 1.5, but they're not where the production and the quality is where he wants to be. Why have you become so confrontational on the internet? Does the hobby have everyone so stressed? Okay, why are you being such a baby, Tyree? I'm not confrontational. I'm just talking about what I see. It's just discussion. Does it seem confrontational? Are you a big baby and take everything to heart? I'm talking about toys. My God, grow a sack. I'm just talking about what I see. watch my mouth. You're the one that came in here and spread the word confrontational. If you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. I'm literally just having a discussion. I'm sick of the babies in the toy community, man. All a bunch of softies. They can sit there and say whatever they want, but if I come back at them, oh, suck my sack. Oh, I'm sorry that I didn't sit there and let you run all over me. My bad. I'll just lay down next time. I'm so sick of everybody that's got these comments, everything to say. But then if I come back and say something, then, oh, whoa, bro, take it easy. I'm only allowed to say the mean thing. Oh, gosh, I didn't think you'd actually, bruh, I come from the NBA 2K community with a bunch of little idiots over there. I'm not going to sit there and say, hey, I'll do whatever I want. If you got something to say, I'll say it back to you. I'm not afraid. I'm tired of all these little babies in the toy community that sit there and, oh, God, my God, I didn't think you'd actually say something back to me. Well, chillax, man. It's just toys. Is it? That's all I was talking about. That's all I was talking about. I didn't say anything controversial. I haven't become controversial. All I'm pointing out is things that are annoying me about both companies. I didn't know that was ruining anybody's day. And if it was, then maybe we got to reevaluate. I don't feel like I've come controversial. I'm just pointing things out. Oh, we can meet up? Oh, yeah. Sorry, Tyree, man. I didn't know you were that serious about action figures. You want to meet up about action figures? All right, Bo. Bet. Dude, internet gangsters, my favorite. My favorite. I thought I was the only one from the NBA 2K community. Glad to see I'm not alone. No, you're not alone. Jada puts extra details and articulation into small things, which will have them every time. When are we getting yellow Kens for sale? I don't think you are. They had a lot of QC issues. Catch me outside. I didn't like your ideas about action figures. Let's go fight it. What? No, I'm fine. I just don't feel like I was saying anything that crazy. But anyways. Bloody hell. Imagine peeps that had real world problems. Why did I come so confrontational? Am I confrontational? Who am I confrontational with? Jada and Storm? I don't feel like I'm just pointing out things. That's it. It's not that crazy. I don't feel like it's that confrontational. I report literally none of my stuff has been confrontational either. Let me look at my last videos real quick. The only thing that was confrontational is I said Storm was having QC issues, and I don't even feel like that's confrontational. I feel like that's just pointing out constructive criticism, because I'm sure nobody is going to tell Storm that the paint is literally falling off their figures. I'm looking at my videos. I don't see anything that's like crazy confrontational, but to each their own. I guess I've become super confrontational. I got the purple one off AliExpress. Nice. I don't have a villain arc. I'm fine just talking about it. I do have a question. Have you ever considered collecting Blokies? They are doing Superman, Marvel, and Star Wars. I've never heard of it. I'm not against collecting anything if I like the characters and the way they look. Didn't cry. I just asked a question. Before I could correct, you started name calling. You know, that's fair. I did call you a baby immediately, and maybe that was uncalled for. Do you feel like I've gotten confrontational? What do you feel like specifically I've gotten confrontational with? Sorry. That might have been a bottle of irritation that I've seen from a bunch of comments that it just exploded on you. So that's fair. And I apologize for calling you a baby. There are model kits. Okay. You lost me as soon as you said model kits. Then no, I'm out. I'm not building any of my action figures. People can't take banter and criticism anymore. They want to glaze everything, call it goated. Yeah. And that's kind of what's been going on, but that's fair. Why are you apologizing? You did nothing wrong. Well, I didn't have to come out immediately and call him a baby. That's not fair. I'm not apologizing. I said it wasn't probably the best thing to just start off with calling him a baby. You just speak your piece, and we appreciate it as a community and supporter of your channel. Well, thank you, Yukop. But, so one thing, it does seem like they are ready to move on from. I think Juhn has just had it enough with the Street Fighter Ultra Street Fighter. Black Void, what's up? And I don't know. And I do think, and I saw a lot of comments, because these things are going to get more expensive. And Storm is not going to stay at the prices they're at either. The days of the $25 Jada and Storm Arena are very much done. I promise you they're very much done. So, for anyone that says these things aren't going to go any higher, just give it a year. I promise you'll see something within this next year. They're going to get more expensive. Marvel Legends are almost already $30. I promise you these are going to get a little bit more expensive. Kawhi Miri, I remember you. Welcome. No, we're good, bro. It was a typo. I misworded with my slow typing ass. The question was, why is everyone so confrontational? Tyree, that's my bad, man. See? Misunderstanding. Corrected. Why is everyone so confrontational? I don't know, man. That's just the toy community. That's just how it is, man. It's got to pick a side, or if you don't agree, it's wrong. It's all that. Where the fuck is Baki? I will say this every stream. Dude, he was at Comic-Con. Stoned, I will literally sell you my Baki right now if you want it. It'll be $59.99 plus shipping and handling, because it shipped from somewhere and I've been handling it. It's a small ass figure, Stoned. It is. I literally haven't touched the Baki line at all since I've reviewed it. They're too small for me. And what do you guys think about this 1/12 scale? Is 1/12 not 6 inches? Because I have seen it both ways. I've seen people say, no, that's a 6-inch figure line. No, that's a 1/12. Isn't that one and the same? To me, that is one and the same. But I didn't know. Okay, then tell me, if 1/12 is different, then tell me why Storm Arena is 1/12. Why is their Alpha line bigger than their Baki line? One-12th is only 6 inch for 6 foot tall characters. Okay. If all of Storm Arena is announced, then tell me why the two properties are different in size. I don't get it. What am I missing? Juhn did say Street Fighter 6 is on the table, just a lot they're working on right now. Well, I mean, that's the thing, too. It's like, what are we focused on here? I just feel like even Jada doesn't know what they're truly focusing on right now. But I do want to show you guys something. So, everyone, I literally have talked to people that says, well, Jada is 6 inch. They're not 1/12. I literally had a popular figure in the community basically scold me about 1/12 and 6 inch. I'm not going to say names, even though I wish I could. But literally, is it this one? Let me see. Hold on. But I literally had someone say it's 1/12, not 6 inch. My theory is Storm wanted both Street Fighter and Baki to be their own individual scale. It doesn't make sense, but that's just my theory. I don't know that they wanted that. I just think that's how they ended up doing it. So, look at this. I had somebody say, well, I said, then why does Jada scale bigger than Storm on the Baki line, but not on the arena line? And they literally yelled at me and said, well, because Jada is 6-inch, not 1/12. I said I wasn't aware of that. And I lost my photo immediately. That's annoying. Hold on one sec, sorry. I literally just lost that photo. That's so annoying. I'll just do this one. I mean, I'm not upset about it because I have shelves dedicated to, but yeah, that's the thing. It's like I wasn't really planning on mashing up anything anyways, but it's like, why are you doing it that way? And somebody literally, and like I said, very popular person in the community said, that's because Jada is 6-inch and Storm is 1/12. Is that a fact? And how do you know that? Because what I'm looking at here, I just want to know, and maybe that's just with these alpha figures, but what I'm looking at right here, Jesus, I'm messing my whole stream up here real quick. What the hell does that say at the top there? But then again, you got both figures there. They're both the same size. What does that say up there? 1/12. That's weird, because I thought Jada was 6-inch. So the big discussion about, well, Storm Arena is 1/12. That's why the scaling's different. Well, I'm looking at 1/12 right here. So I just think there's a moving scale, I guess. And here's the thing about Storm too. Why did they scale their line bigger and smaller on Arena? But then on collectibles, they're all in the same scale. Like, if I bring Yujiro Hanma and put him next to the figures from the different properties in the collectibles line, they all scale within the same properties. Like, they're not, the Yujiro and the Baki line is not scaling different on the collectibles line, but then they decided to change it for Arena? That makes no sense to me. These days, no company is going to keep scale at 1/12. It's just part of it, I can imagine. Those are reasonable questions. Why would they choose to make the scaling smaller for Arena, but collectibles literally seems to scale with all the rest of the collectibles? I don't get it. I'm lost. Someone explain. And I get it's per property. It just doesn't make a lot of sense, because I feel like you're now I feel like what you could have done with Baki and letting them like be combined with all these different properties, you've like set it off into its own thing. And I'm telling you right now, SH Figure Arts, their scaling's all over the place. The thing is too, is it's like, I just don't get, I don't understand it. Like, I get that it's its own property, but hold on one sec. All right. Sorry about that. Um, But here we go. I'm segueing off Jada. It does seem like the I think the one and I've said this before. I feel like people were hoping that with Storm Arena being announced that it was gonna, do one thing with Jada, and being that they were gonna like light a light a fire underneath them, but it seems to have done the opposite. I think people were expecting that Jada was going to be like, all right, challenge accepted. Let's go tit for tat. And it just kind of seems like they aren't doing it that way. Like, I thought people expected to get Balrog and Akuma this year, and then that was going to have enough of a separation that they weren't even going to hit the same year as Storm, but now they're literally going to have their Balrog and Akuma like 1 or 2 months apart from each other. So, it's interesting. Eduardo, but their new sculpts could be better. But I do want to talk, Storm is not doing much better with some of the execution here. Because while the sculpts may be better, guys, we literally have had major QC issues with Storm, and we are only a few figures in, which is not a great start. So, this is not just about, it's not just about the QC issue. It's the fact that you can't get any help either from Storm. Storm virtually has zero customer service. Zero. They have a website. They have an email on their website that literally never gets answered. So if you bought any of these con exclusives and they had any type of QC issue, then you're out of luck. And that's insane. Because one, why were these painted? And if you can't see the QC issue there, it's on the collar. Like, that's just barely starting. It's right there under his ear. The paint's starting to chip off. That's not like the greatest photo. But it's like, why are these getting painted? Aren't you supposed to mold these in the plastic of the color that they're supposed to be? And it's not only the convention. I've heard even some of the reissues of Ken, the Red Gi Ken, were painted as well. SH Figure Arts has no customer service either. But it's like, you paid a lot. These were almost $50 at the con, and you can't get any type of customer service? Mafex does the same thing. They paint over the plastic? That's crazy. I did not know they did that. Why would you do that? I think Storm's using the wrong batch. This is bad. We're talking... And the funny thing, though, is that cutting costs, white plastic might be cheaper, I guess, but... maybe. I just don't... I'm looking at my Ken, the red Ken right now, and I'm trying to, I know that's crazy to say, but I'm, trying to, hit my nail on the plastic, and it's not really doing anything. So, why would they mold the original Ken in red plastic and not the other ones? Cool guy, what up? And I heard a lot of people say, Storm's rushing. Storm does not make their figures. So, for those that say, I like the... I don't know what people think, if they think Storm is in their own basement just down there painting figures, but it's like, see what happens when you rush? What? They don't make their own figures. They're not sitting there painting these. They're not in the basement like little Santa elves. They literally hired a factory to make these. So I don't know what they're talking about. This is what you get when you rush. What? It is? I don't understand that. Painting over the plastic usually gives a better finish, a more premium look. I wouldn't recommend it for soft plastics. If this is what's going to happen, you better have a hell of a sealer on it. Black Void, but I've never seen where the paint started chipping off, though. Have you? I do understand that you do paint over some plastics. Like, I've even seen McFarlane do that, but I've never seen the paint actually come off a figure where it reveals the underneath. Is at least as bad as this. Right? I mean, we're talking, this is literally happening like seconds to minutes after the figure has been out of the package. It's not like these things have been, maybe, you know, after a year or so, maybe. I mean, but ultimately, this should not be happening. I mean, look at this. This was Spicy Duck on X, and this is literally like seconds outside of the packaging. If you can't see the QC, it's at the bottom of the gi. That's crazy, man. You shouldn't paint soft rubber plastic. 30 MDLX Mega Man has paint chip at the joints. See, that's, I've never even heard of that. So that, I meant more like me. I don't know. I guess it can be a thing, but I left my Storm exclusives in the box. See, I left mine in the box, but I'd love to open them. I would, but I don't want this shit to happen. Yeah, but Kawhi, we're talking, this is Spicy Duck saying literally 30 seconds outside of having his purple Ken out of the box, just doing some normal posing. And this is already happening? Look at that. Like, look at the paint everywhere else. At least on the legs. At least the gi on this purple. I don't know, man. That looks bad. Spicy Duck did get help from Storm, but it's because he has like a vendor account or some way to get in touch with them, like through, it's not WhatsApp, but it's like a, I don't even know what he said. It was like some website. What did he say? Let me see if I can find it. Let me see what he said. He said, depending on where you bought it, it's official channels, and you probably have to via them through BBTS. What did he say? Let me see what he said here. Unless you have a WeChat account, there is no way I can share it. Also, I think this might only be for China and Hong Kong. What is WeChat? I don't know what WeChat is. But Storm is known to use a lot of paint on plastics where their collectibles line. But I've watched hundreds of Storm collectible reviews, and I've never seen this be an issue before. Yeah, Spicy Duck did get a response by Storm, but I mean, nope. WeChat is like the Chinese WhatsApp. It's really weird considering there's never been a problem with the type of QC, at least from my experience. Mine either. But it's like, damn, these are literally your first exclusives ever from Storm Arena, and this is how it comes out? Not a good look. That's what I'm saying, dummy. Oh, okay. My bad. I read it wrong. I've never seen this. So, that's not good. And then, there are so many people rooting for Storm to fail. Because you couldn't imagine the people that wrote the comments, "This is what you get for rushing figures out. This is what you get." It's like, well, the factory didn't rush them out. But I did want to show you guys this. You guys tell me. We got 2 Akumas coming out. And apparently this one doesn't look as good as Jada's. I think that's interesting. Let's see. uh, they look different, but I wouldn't say that Jada's is crushing Storms by any means. It's definitely different preference and different things. I do think they both look good. I don't know why people are shitting on Storms so bad. It's literally their first prototype, and I still think it looks pretty good. Storm Akuma looks like he's on crack. Why? Because he's yelling? I'm enjoying both. I just pick whoever I think has got the best at the time. I think Jada Akuma looks better, but I'm still going to get both. Okay. I get that Jada's looks better, but you're literally comparing a finished product. This is the final version, right? Like, there is nothing else they're fixing. This is a first prototype by Storm. Literally a first prototype. So that's like comparing a car that has no wheels, the paint job's not finished, it doesn't even have windows, compared to a finished product. That's crazy to even say that, though. So, of course, I would hope it looks better. I would hope that the prototype from Storm doesn't look better than Jada's final product. Because that's pretty crazy. Upper Gi looks cooler. I hope they do good. I love the competition. It's a win for us customers. They did the same thing with Haya. A lot of SH fanboys are wanting them to fail, and I want Haya to win. Dude, Haya stinks at their horror figures. They might be good with Godzilla and some of their other stuff, but man, their horror figures so far, yikes. I don't want Storm to fail. They're the only ones making 1/12 King of Fighter figures. Look better than figure arts, especially for the price. Jada Akuma got the Dougie color wrong. Oh, the gi? Is it not supposed to be like a darker blue? Storm blows it out of the water. Kuso, what's up? If you look at Ultra Street Fighter 2, Sprites of Akuma has black and a dark gray gi, not blue. That might have been a Capcom decision. I can't talk. I don't know. I haven't heard anybody else really complain about the color of the gi. Storm has a finished product. They have Akuma in the past. This is just a smaller scale. Well, I mean, we're not taught. Well, yeah. I mean, but it was a different video game. And this is... Wait, what do you mean? They have a finished Akuma. Yeah, but that's not what the 1/12 scale. Love Storm and Jada. Was all in with Storm collectibles, and they look great on display, but I just really want completed lines due to space. I sold off a lot of Storm due to just kind of neglecting the other lines. Well, you guys heard that too, right? Jada is not planning on finishing Alpha 3. They really just set out to do that for Street Fighter Ultra 2. From Storm's old Akuma? I didn't know that. But nonetheless, I do think it's interesting that people don't think the new figures are going to be more expensive. Is there a price point that you guys think you would hop off Jada? Like, say Jada turned... Because it sounds like they're pretty much going toe-to-toe with as far as, like... what they want their figures to look like and be, I do think the price is going to get more expensive. It has to. Because if you look at the way they are now, like, it looks very similar to... It doesn't quite have the rubbery feeling of, like, a Storm collectible as far as the plastic, but they did say the plastic was going to be very similar to, like, premium figures. I don't know. There's something about those forearms that are throwing me off, too, but... If Jada crosses 50 with shipping from Big Bad Toy Store, that might be a hop-off. I buy 100 plus Mafex figures. Jada increases price isn't going to bother me personally. See, that's where I feel like a lot of people will be. If normal Jada figures were about 35 before taxes, I probably consider hopping off. I definitely see these new figures, these 2.0 figures, being about almost $40. We'll see, but that's what I'm predicting. Yeah, Stone, that makes sense. Jada is aiming to complete alpha. Juhn wants to tackle characters that haven't been done or need a serious update. He did not say that they were aiming to complete alpha. He never said that. Where do you get that idea? He said that they were going to focus on, never said that. I never saw anything that said our goal is to try and aim to finish alpha. There's no way they finish alpha. And the problem is the problem that I see, they can try to aim for more niche characters, but who's to say Storm won't just see what they're doing and do the exact same figures? Yeah, Black Void, that's fact. They are paying more than 30 for most action figures. Hell, we're $3 away from Marvel Legends hitting the $30 mark, so. But what is to stop Storm from saying, oh, they're doing Rose? Well, guess who our next character is going to be after we finish? Rose. Like, they literally could just sit there and watch Jada announce new characters and literally put them in their next wave. I hopped off most figure arts, way overpriced, 75 is crazy. Yeah, I'm not doing it. There's no way Marvel Legends should be 30. I mean, it hasn't stopped anybody from buying them. But I find it interesting because I do see Jada wanting, like, it's the problem is I do think Storm is going to be a bully in this situation. I do. I hate to say that, but I do think Storm is personally going to go out and try and get the figures done. Like, get the characters done. So excited for this new Nash. Yeah. Marvel Legends will eventually reach 35 and people will still be paying them. Factual. Now you're good, Stone. But here's something that I find interesting. When I called you dummy, I was kidding. Oh, I don't care. You can call me dummy. Well, don't do it now, but you know what I mean. It's not like... Yeah, I don't really care about stuff like that. Yo, Art, what's up, man? Kind of just going over, and I was talking about QC issues with Storm. Not a good look for their first player exclusives. You were at the con, right? Have you opened your... You were at the con. Why didn't I ask you? How are your... Have you... I don't know if you're out of box. Did your paint fall off on any of your figures? Yeah, exactly, Alpha. But a lot of those are bigger characters, though. Like, Venom is bigger. Mega Alpha Red is big, or Omega Red is bigger. Reason why Jada and Storm have similar releases due to crossover game roster those characters are in. Factual. But here's the thing, guys. I want you to think about this, right? Because a lot of people expect... How many of you guys think that Jada is actually going to release the Alpha 3 figures next year in 2026? All mine were great. No issues on my end. Wait, so Art, you've opened them, you've messed around with them, and you've experienced no paint issues whatsoever. Zero. But here's the thing, right? And I've said this before. My Arena Ken and Ryu are in my pile of loot, and I just shipped it. No, I mean, didn't you buy the, I'm talking about the con exclusives. Didn't you buy some of the con exclusives or no? I could have swore you said you were going to New York Comic Con. Maybe you ended up not going. I don't know. Maybe late 2026 would be hopeful thinking. I think Invincible is their only priority now. They'll take advantage of the fact they have the property with no competition with that line. Maybe Q1 of 2027, but not 2026. None, mine are good. And you've posed them around. Maybe you weren't looking. I don't know. You'll have to look at them again and see if you're noticing, because a lot of people had pain issues, so I guess let me know. I don't know what kind of posing you did with them, but here's the thing. Here's my thought with that. So, we got literally 3 figures this year, right? We got Sagat, Blanca, and Vega. So, you're telling me that we're getting 8 figures brand new next year from Jada? That seems like not only wishful thinking, it seems impossible because they've never done it before. Never. So you're telling me next year, because Juhn has even said that Alpha is not going to drop until they finish the roster for Street Fighter Ultra 2 or Street Fighter 2, whatever you guys call it. So you're telling me next year we should expect to get Balrog, Akuma, E Honda, Zangief, T-Hawk, Chun-Li, Ryu, and Charlie all in the same year? Well, I don't think Yujiro... Actually, some people were saying Yujiro's joints were put on backwards. You'll have to look at your Yujiro, too. Because it wasn't even something I noticed. But I'll have to look and see what he said. What did he say about Yujiro? He said... What did he say? He said something about the piece being by... it was the piece by his leg, by the pocket, was like put on backwards or something. We haven't even gotten Wave 3 of Jada Mega Man yet. We haven't even seen... Well, even the last time we saw anything about Cyberpunk. Where is Cyberpunk? I feel like we've only had those 2 figures for like a year and a half now. Our Milka, Montana, Serena. I need that rush. But here's the thing. Where the hell are their Darkstalker figures? Because they have been having these things at every con, literally, and these things have yet to see a pre-order. Where are these things? I don't know. It seems very unlikely that they get 8 new figures out next year. Cyberpunk pre-order should be up sometime in November. Hopefully. Female figures. I mean, these figures have literally been at cons since, like, the announcement. Like, since almost Storm Arena's initial announcement. And we still don't have any update on these. 0. That's right, Stone. They are. So, I don't know. The QC issues have been crazy. If you haven't seen Art, if you're still here, we're seeing a lot of this stuff. We're seeing paint literally falling off the gi. I don't know if this one's not as good. I have to find the one that really shows. Look at the paint on the neck. See that paint right below his ear? It's like chipping off. The longer they take, the better built they will be. Yeah, but you could say that literally about any company. It's not about, nobody has ever waited 3 years and said, oh, that was worth it. People don't want people don't want the labor pains. They just want the baby. You got to get these things fast. You can't be taking 2 and 3 years to get figures out, because you lose momentum. People see these figures and they get excited and then they lose interest. That's when pre-orders start getting canceled. I can't tell you how many times I almost canceled Shao Kahn from Storm Collectibles because they were taking so long. It's like, dude, I'm not even excited for Shao Kahn anymore. The Hawk, what up? I'm not even excited anymore for freaking Shao Kahn because he took forever. Shao who? Shao Kahn. Mortal Kombat. From their collectibles line. Dude, I just hope that the scaling is not an issue. I don't want all the figures to start being Baki sized, because if they are, then I'm out on Storm Arena other than the Street Fighter. Like, I can't really tell. But if these figures are now all scaling with Baki size, I'm out. Oh, you were joking? Nightwolf is still on pre-order for Big Bad Toy Store. There's also a Shao Kahn that's up right now for pre-order. This isn't an instant gratification hobby. Depends on who you ask. Some people are patient, some people are not. Because people see Marvel Legends get announced and then they're literally out on the shelves in 2 and 3 months. I think these companies just poorly execute their pre-orders. Why are you putting out a pre-order if you are still a year away from even finishing the sculpts? I don't get that. I still don't get that. Why would you put out the pre-order if it's still a year and a half away? I mean, I get that you could, it's prediction to find out how much you're supposed to make, but it's like, is that how we run our business now? Dan to release as the last one I remember getting was Soda, and it was not good. I think the company was at the end of its point and QC dipped. It's weird because I've seen reviews on Nightwolf, so he's clearly been released. Oh yeah, that would be a re-release. Like, Nightwolf did release. I thought it was just like a How is Storm MK on pre-order with no license? It's because Big Bad Toy Store hasn't taken down the pre-order. Just answered your own question. Yeah, that's not now they do it. Figma, Kyoto, Mafex do the same thing. Yeah, but everyone complains about how long Mafex takes. Everyone notoriously says how long Mafex takes, or Mafex, excuse me. So I know that's such a huge, like, trigger for people in the community if it's Mafex, Mafex. But people literally sit there and say how annoying it is that Mafex takes to produce their figures. Like, people, you lose. How somebody that is collecting today could not be collecting tomorrow. Literally, someone could have an epiphany tonight and say, what am I doing collecting action figures? I'm done with this. You could literally lose so much business by doing it that way. No, these are not going to be soft goods. These are all... I don't think any of Storm Arena is planning on doing soft goods. I think that's how they keep their prices so low. I don't think these are going to be soft goods. I think this is going to be plastic. Mars, what up, man? So buy Marvel Legends and McFarlane. You have plenty of options if you want cheap stuff now. Yeah, but what if they don't carry the properties that you like? Last time I checked, they didn't carry Mega Man or Street Fighter or King of Fighters or any anime. Okay, McFarlane carries some anime, but you know what I'm saying. It's like, well, what if I'm not into Marvel or DC? $60 for Storm Arena. I'm still buying. I'd probably still buy, but again, kind of defeats the purpose of their line. They came out to try and go head to head with Jada. So if they're 60 and Jada's still at 40, then that might be kind of defeating the purpose of their mission. But, you know, I'd still buy them. Yeah, I also want good figures and not McFarlane quality. Yeah, see? Hasbro said soft goods require a different factory. That's why they avoid them. I assume it would be the same for other companies. So don't buy anything. Then we can move the goalpost all day. Yeah, but Cindrus, your whole theory and, like, reasoning is all or nothing. Obviously, you could say that about anything. So don't buy anything then. Don't be in the hobby if you can't wait. Don't be in that, like, it's not unreasonable to want companies to have a little pressure. It's like, you're the reason why they take so long, because a lot of people are like, oh, we can wait 3 years and we'll still buy them. It's like, unless they get a little pressure from the community, then they have no reason to change. It's people that just sit there and don't say anything and just say, well, that's the way it works. That's life. Like, but it doesn't have to be. There's evolution all the time in things and how they can get quicker and things like that, but they don't get the pressure to do that, so they don't. Because people are like, oh, I'll wait 5 years for my dragon figure. It's like, oh, okay. Then I guess we'll wait 5 years. That's the expectation, is 5 years. Because nobody else said anything. It's like, if you don't say anything, they don't have any pressure to do anything. Look at the pressure was on Storm. Now we've seen, look what we've seen in just 1 year. Okay, Mars, again, it hasn't been that impressive of a year for Storm. They've literally only put out 4 figures. I mean, that's a great start, but that's not like crazy or anything. And not to mention their player 2s had tons of QC issues, so it's like, yeah, they got them out, but then it's like, oh, well, there's some issues there. They literally only got 4 figures out. I don't know if that's, is that mind-blowing to people? Hey, Storm Arena got 4 figures out in a year. Is that great? That's 1 figure a quarter. I don't know if that's like a record-breaking year or anything. Storm showed the figures dust now. They must fulfill their own hype now. God, I went down the wrong hole. That's what she said. Wait, what? They're only $25. Come on, guys. You're missing the point. Storm Arena is only $25. You're missing the point. All right? Hasbro makes cheap toys for kids. Oh, that's funny, because you and I both know that they don't market towards kids, Cindrus. You're just saying that because they're in the toy aisle. They are not marketing. Do you think any of these kids know who these deep niche characters are? Don't try and play coy with me, Cindrus. You know and I both know they're not marketing towards kids. I don't see any kids in the toy aisle ever. Let's go I'd be curious to ask. I'll next time we're at Comic-Con, I'll ask them. I'll say, hey, are you guys marketing towards kids with your Marvel Legends line? I guarantee they say no. Once upon a time, maybe back in 1996, they were doing that, but that's not the case anymore. All the influencers are claiming $25. Oh, Mars, you already missed that rant. I already talked about it. I already went off that these figures are not $25. They're closer to 40, but it's not to say that they're not worth 40. I'm just sick of people marketing that the first thing that they say with Storm Arena is, and guys, this figure is only $25. It's not. It's never been that. You show me the last kid that came up to you and said, look at my new action figure. It just doesn't happen. It's not real. These kids don't have the attention span to play with action figures. That would require imagination, and imagination within our youth, unfortunately, is gone. So, yeah, you had to make up your own stories. You had to make up your own villains. You had to create the whole movie. Kids don't have time for that. You know why, cool guy? This is why. Let's go. Let's go take a... We haven't taken a journey yet. We need to take a journey. We haven't taken a journey yet. You know why? Let's get this out of here. Let's get up here. Where is it? Right here? Can you guys see? Okay. So I'm going to make this bigger. That's what I said to her. And then I'm going to take away chat for just a second so you guys can see, right? So we're going to take away chat box for just a second, right? So, let's go on a journey, right? Okay, I still need the address bar. Storm Collectibles. Okay. So what these influencers do is they come to Storm Collectibles, but I want you to notice something immediately. This is stormcompany.com .hk. What does that HK stand for? Hong Kong. Just like when you type in utah.gov.us, that means it's a US-based website, right? But that's what this is. This is a Hong Kong website, hence the HK at the end of it. So this is marketed towards Hong Kong. You come in here, a creator's going to say, oh my God, Ken, look at Ken, he's only $26! Wow! What a steal! That's not what it costs. If you live in Hong Kong, maybe you can get that price. Maybe. But that's not this. And notice these are all sold out. From the time that if you go look, from the time that these are announced, these automatically have sold out. From the time they get released on this website. They never actually sell Storm Arena on their website because it goes through who? It goes through Big Bad Toy Store. That is their official partner that they've done with. So now you come over here to Ken. How much was Ken? $29.99 plus $4 shipping. So that's $34. And that's not including tax, which we'll just say $2. That's $36 for Ken. That's not $26. And look at the rest of the figures. Where? Show me. I do not see $25 anywhere. I see $30. I see Baki on $26.99, but that excludes the tariff surcharge. That means they haven't bumped this figure's price up yet. Look at all the new figures. $29.99, $29.99. Where's Sagat? Sagat, one of their bigger characters, $37.99. That's actually more expensive than Jada's deluxe figure, by the way. But this is the official retailer for US, not Hong Kong. And look at this guy, $31.99. I'm glad they did bring down. They had this priced at $34.99, but ended up dropping the price to $29.99 because he's not that much bigger than Baki. So I was like, why is this thing so much more expensive and literally not getting anything different than the Baki? I don't know. It was weird. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm sick of people advertising because they go on Storm Collectibles and they go, oh my God, how much is this? $28. That's not how much it is. Not by a long shot. Not to mention, guys, if you order an action figure from Storm, do you know how much their shipping is? $35. So even if you were to get these at the $25 price tag, so let's just say $26. Do you know how much I would buy? I would show you an example, but literally everything sold out. But if you were to go buy this M Bison, $85. But you didn't find out until you got to checkout that there's $35 in shipping because it ships from China. So everyone's like, oh, wow, great prices. Yeah, until you see the shipping cost. It's a fantasy. It's not real. So all these creators go out there and literally say, oh, it's this price. No, it's not. It's not. Never has been. Never will be. But it's a great, spiel, I guess, to promote the company. It's just not a thing. Jada's not remaking Ultra Street Fighter 2 Ryu. Correct. They announced that they're not going back. They're only moving forward. They are not going to revisit. Hey, what happened to my chat box? Jada could always make Street Fighter 3 Ryu. That's the same. You never know. Sagat isn't dropping from $38? No. I meant Yujiro was initially $27. Yeah. I don't know, man. That's crazy. I think it's crazy. I'm still blown away that you guys think this figure looks bad. What looks bad? The head sculpt? Even the head sculpt, to me, does not look that bad. But, again... Okay... Legs are too skinny? What? I don't see skinny legs here. We need a Dudley for the British representation, I guess. But... yeah, that's really the thing that's bugging me with Storm, is that they're getting misrepresentation by their prices. The QC has not been off to a great start, and we literally have only gotten 4 figures. And this is an early prototype. I said that. They don't care about that. What they see is that it's a finished product. That's how this community works. If they see a figure, then that's its final rendition. Because I keep literally seeing everyone say, Jada's looks way better than Storm. Do you know how baggy a gi is, Kawhi? They're not form-fitting. It's not like they're freaking Under Armour. A gi is very flowing. It's supposed to be baggy. You're not supposed to see leg muscles through the gi. Go look at Ken, go look at Ryu on either line. I don't see muscle striations through any of them. You actually found the inspiration? I mean, I thought the inspiration was supposed to be Alpha 3. This is gi, not tights. That's what I'm saying. You're not supposed to be seeing muscle striation through the gi. It's supposed to be a flowing... Where are the muscles on this one? I don't see any muscles. I mean, those are supposed to be wrinkles, not muscles in the legs. Storm Alpha 3 exclusive were clearly rushed, hence paint issues. Wonder what happened. But what makes you think they were rushed, Starscreamer? I'm very curious, because I see a lot of people... That's what you get for rushing. Storm does not make their own figures. They're not in the basement painting their own figures. Are you telling me that they rushed the factory to hurry and pump these out? Is that what you mean? I see a witch? Wait, what? What does that mean they rushed them? Because they didn't rush anything. They literally just submitted the order to the factory that makes their figures. Unless they said, can you put a rush on these? Then something clearly happened there. I don't know what that means. And can you even rush a factory to get figures out? I don't know. Is that a thing? Because if so, then why don't other companies rush? But can you even rush a factory, though? Because what would stop other companies from rushing factories to get figures out quicker? That doesn't even seem like a thing. Hey, can we put a rush order on these? Because why wouldn't other companies rush? And just hope for the best. The factory failed point blank. That's factual. I actually love the Jada Akuma too. They did a great job. I feel like I want to put a black wash on his teeth. Is it just me, or do the teeth have real no definition on his gritting head sculpt? Hold on one sec. We're not looking at that. That just happens to be the last photo. Hold on. Is it me, or is there... I don't know. I feel like I need a little bit of a wash in there. I feel like his teeth have no real definition. You're right. I just feel like I can't even see his teeth. I feel like in my review, I want to put a black wash on him. So you can get a little bit of a... What would be the word? Pronounced teeth? His lips got white on it? They do? I don't know. I just feel like I want a little bit of a wash on those teeth. Because it's like a white blob. I'm sure if Storm had the time, they would have molded the plastics in purple and yellow and painted them. But that's the thing, as I was hearing people say that a lot of companies paint over different colored plastics. So, and that makes sense, because I've literally seen, like, I think I saw that specifically with McFarlane on their Bane and Batman 2-pack. They painted that tan, or that skin colored, because that Bane figure is black plastic, and you can literally see black coming through the skin tone on that Bane. So maybe that is a bigger thing than I realized. Maybe I was uneducated on how many companies actually paint different colored plastics. The bottom lips got white on it. Yeah, but I've definitely seen that be an issue with Jada before. Like, they've definitely had paint spill over onto the lips before. Villains in cartoons almost have their teeth pronounced with black lines. See, that's why I'm thinking in my review, I'm gonna put a black wash on it and try and see what happens there. And see, would you put a black wash or a brown wash? I feel like I'd do a black wash. But yeah. No one has taken Jada's Akuma gi off to see the body mold. Yeah, because it's not important according to... I've talked to numerous reviewers, again, big reviewers, like some of the well-known names in the community, and according to them, it's not important. And the gi is not even... One reviewer went as far as to say is, the gi's not even supposed to come off. You're not even supposed to take it off. I said, then why is it an option? And I'm not going to reveal the name, but he's literally one of the most popular reviewers. I'm like, what are you saying? Remember Jawbreakers, fam? Used to make my lips chalk white. I mean, I was never a big Jawbreaker kind of guy. I didn't have the patience. Most companies don't put thick paint on soft rubber. At the most, they airbrush since that moves with the plastic. Oh, that makes sense. It's the same mold as Vega. I don't think it's the same mold as Vega, because they literally do different body molds for... I think each new... I don't think... No, it's not the same mold as Vega, because the muscle definition is way different from the chest and the shoulders So it's not Vega. And I think this character's way thicker than Vega. Mr. Anthony? Might have been. I'm not saying. I can neither confirm nor deny. Akuma's build is completely different from Vega's. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure he's got a thicker torso. I think. That's a relief. I didn't really hear a lot of people talk about Vega. Like, Vega just kind of came and went. Like, I never heard, like, a lot of people talk about the Vega. Kanji on his skin? I don't know. I'm still annoyed by the color of Jada Akuma's. Yeah, but again, that could very well be a Capcom choice and not a Jada choice. Because a lot of things that bug people about Jada's choice, like, one of the main things is, like, why does Vega have a gold claw? He has a silver claw. Well, that's because Capcom told him to change that color. Why is the glove on the wrong hand? That, again, was a Capcom thing. So it's like, I think there's a lot more input from Capcom than people realize or that Jada announces, and that's probably what happened there. Vega isn't that great? What? I like the Vega figure. It's actually one of my favorite in the line. I do like the Vega figure a lot. Akuma is different, especially since it has the same style of butterfly joints like the Balrog. Yeah, that's another thing, too, is I don't think that Vega got the updated butterfly articulation. At least I don't think so. But, yeah, I do recall. I can't believe you don't like the Vega. Which you're entitled to that opinion. I'm not saying you're wrong. I actually enjoyed the Vega quite a bit. I would have loved to have, like, a battle damaged head, like the mask, like, broken off on a piece or something like that, instead of, like, the maskless head sculpt. Like, I understand why they did it. I'm just never gonna use that maskless head sculpt. Vega's eyebrow annoyed me. Well, luckily you have a masked head sculpt that you should be using. I can't believe you're using the maskless head sculpt. Priorities, Eduardo. Get them in check. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really looked at the maskless head sculpt that often. When are we getting the Jada Universal Mummy to complete that? They lost that license, so never. Vega seemed like a solid release. I thought his joints were a little loose. Like, that was one of the loosest figures. And it wasn't loose. Like, you know, it wasn't like Froggy where, like, if I jiggled it, like, his limbs were jiggling around. But, man, it was, like, right on the verge of being loose, of getting it out. I think a lot of people still have their Soda Street Fighters. Assuming there are no more P2s this year, it's been a very disappointing second half year from Jada. That's what I said. Player 2 Cammy should have came with a victory face smile. Literally just a repaint. That's why I couldn't understand when people like... And not to mention, you could really only get her... You can get her through AliExpress and you can get her through Entertainment Earth. So, look at this. I don't know how many people have actually seen this. But literally, there's nothing new with Cammy, right? She's literally just a repaint. And this is crazy. So, I want to make sure. So, I want people to realize this. Like, so Cammy is $32.99, right? Right? That's what it says on the website. But it's like... this is another prime example. It's like, I don't count the retail price on what I paid, because $32.99, yeah, it's a little bit higher. I get it. It's an exclusive and everything like that, but it's like, okay, so we come over here. I would like one Cammy, please. That'll be $32.99. But after taxes and everything else, the price is actually $45.94. But reviewers won't tell you that's what they paid. They'll say, she only cost $32.99. That's not right. $45 for a repaint is insane. I'm not doing it. And I had a lot of people ask me, where's the Cami review? That's where the Cami review is. $45.95. I'm not paying $45 for literally just a silver outfit and a pink hat and gloves. You can miss me with that. I'm not that big of a Cami fan where I'm paying $45 for just a repaint. You can miss me on that one. Hasn't sold out. Wonder why? Well, I think Jada puts a lot more stock than Storm. Storm definitely doesn't order as many figures as Jada. That's for sure. If you guys had to guess, when they release batches of figures, how many figures would you agree that Storm probably makes like 15,000 figures to Jada's like 20 to 30,000 figures? I think so, at least. Just because they're selling out doesn't mean that Storm is killing it. And I think Storm just doesn't make as big of a production run as Jada. I don't think it's because it's that much more popular. Capcom definitely has the final decisions on what Jada can do and put on their figures. For instance, Jada has to use SF4 art styles depending on the character of... Yeah, I know that Juhn's addressed that before too. Overpriced yet. She's a repaint, not a deluxe. Same as Blue Guile, Red Chun-Li, White Gi Ken. Except White Gi Ken did come with an extra effect, so you can't really count him. Entertainment Earth does free shipping over $79. And a deal if you spend over $200 or maybe $250. Lore, come on, man. I'm not trying. So I literally have to sit there and get a great deal. I have to spend $80 with Entertainment Earth. I hate that. Do not count that. Nobody's counting that. Hey, if you spend $150 with Big Bad Toy Store, then you get... I hate that. I'm not counting that. I shouldn't have to spend that much money with a company to get the price that I actually want for it. I hate that. I'm not counting that. Hey guys, spend $1,000 to get free shipping. I'm not counting that. I'm counting the plain black and white, what the product costs and what the shipping is. I'm not counting, no, free shipping for over 100. I'm not counting that. It's just not a thing. Just like Entertainment Earth exclusive White Ken, I'll wait to see Cammy go to local shops and just pay the $30. Tired of high shipping prices. But where do you... Art, see, you get these comic book stores. I think that's such like a luxury. You must live in an area that really stocks these things because... Man, none of my comic book shops out here in Utah ever order this stuff. Like, you're lucky that you get to potentially find that stuff in a comic book store because it just doesn't happen here. And I would think for a lot of people, they don't have that option. So, I mean, that's great if you guys have, like, a comic book shop that eventually gets these exclusives. But, yeah, it just is not a thing here where I'm at. Storm goes for rarity. I mean, do you guys feel like that's a great business model? That's Mars's big thing. And I want to get your guys' perspective, right? Like, do you think it's great that Storm, like, focuses on, like, limited... It almost seems like limited runs. Like, once the figure's gone, it's gone. But that's like that for a lot of companies. But I don't think Storm necessarily does, like, huge production runs, like, compared to, like, a Marvel Legend or something like that. So, it's like, do you guys like that? Do you guys think it's cool to have a figure that becomes more rare? Yes, it's great for, like, resale value and keeping the value in the figure. But I don't know. I think, to me, it's like, if you wanted to hop in Jada right now for Street Fighter, you literally could go back and get all the characters. But if you were to hop in Storm Arena right now, literally, they've only produced 2 Street Fighter figures in Ken and Ryu. And Ken now sells for $80 because he's sold out and they're not going to restock him. At least that's not Storm's forte. They've never done it. So what are your guys' thoughts? Do you guys like having the figures be a little bit more rare and like you have to be in from the jump? Or do you like the fact that, you know, there's enough figures produced that you can literally jump in a line at any time? 'Cause I get that, but it just seems like poor business to, like, cut off a certain amount of people that it's like, oh, you know, I've come around and I actually like Storm Arena. I'd like to start collecting their figures. But Ken is now $80. And that's actually, his price is only getting higher, unfortunately. And why, since when is Ken more popular than Ryu and I'm oblivious? Is that a thing? I always thought Ryu was more popular. You guys like Ken more than Ryu? I didn't know that was a thing. I actually thought Ryu was the most popular one between the two. I did not know that. I like the fact I got a jump due to rarity and I buy 3 times per figure. Yeah. Ken has the long hair, very different look. Okay. I guess that's fair. That's fair. I didn't even think about that. Ken's American? Oh, wow. Okay, I see. Ken's American. Did anybody get the Ivan Ooze Ken? I always loved Ken more than Ryu since I was 5 years old. I like his gi color better. So you guys like the long hair? I think I actually don't like that more. Which is crazy, right? I'm a Ryu guy. See, I like Ryu better. He's got the tan skin. He's got the brown locks. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, this guy's not far away. He's coming. Me and Mars should have this figure hopefully by the end of this month. He's coming. He's coming. Long hair is peak? Ugh. Get a haircut, hippie. That's what I'm going to chop his hair off. I'm going to give him my own haircut. I'm not about it. He's coming this month. He looks great. See, like, I can see the teeth on this Sagat. Like, with Akuma, I cannot. It looks like a blob. It looks like there is actually shading on the teeth there. And I don't care what kind of QC issues that they have with Sagat. I'm telling you right now. I'm in on every single player 2 that ever comes out on Sagat. I'm telling you right now. I don't care if the paint, I don't care if his teeth paint literally starts falling off. I'm buying them all. They're all for me. All of them. Ain't no white on those lips. Pause. Jesus. What are we talking now? Okay. We're still talking about action figures, are we? We are, right? I'm telling you, and I hope they pump them out too. Because we literally already have 3 repaints for Ryu and Ken. And Sagat, I want to just see the most. Give me everything. But you know that is something different, right? That is one thing that I can say I appreciate about Storm a little bit more than Jada. Is that they get their player 2s out for the character way quicker than Jada does, right? Because Jada, it always seems like they're about a year behind on their player 2s. Like, this next Comic-Con will probably get Blanca and Sagat. But it's like, it seems like Storm has the capabilities to literally, once they drop the initial figure, they can get player 2s out within like a couple of months, right? So that does seem better. So I feel like I'm going to see player 2 Sagat literally 1 or 2 months after his initial release. Where it's like with Jada, we have to wait an entire year for them to eventually get their player 2s. So, it's not really a big bro do. It's big deal to me, Stone. How about I like it better? All right? How about I have it a goddamn opinion? How about that? It's not really a big deal? Well, I just said I liked it better. I didn't say it was like a big deal. Is that what I said? Is that what I said before the statement is, hey guys, this is a really big deal. All right? That they get player 2s out. I just said I happen to like that feature a little bit better. How about that? How about that? It's not a big deal, bro. Like, why does everyone think that it's like that? Stone? Get a grip. How about that? It's not, dude, come on, man. It's not that big of a deal. I didn't say it was. I just said I happen to prefer that a little bit better. Damn it. Storm's factories have factories. No, I'm not saying. I'm alluding to it. I just said that I like that a little bit better, that I can get them quicker. I'm not alluding to that's a big deal. Did I say that? Did I seem like that was that crazy? Like, whoa, man. I just said I happen to like that feature a little bit better. God damn, everything's life or death with you guys. He said it. He said it, so it means it's a big deal. It's important to him. I just said I happen to prefer that. It's like if my Honda came with black seats, but the Toyota has red seats, it's like, oh, I actually like that. That's a huge deal for you. Oh my God. He said it, so it has to be a big deal. It's not. I just said that seems to be a little bit nicer. Damn. I'm getting gaslighted as fuck, Joey. I am. And it's unfair. This community does that. What feature? I said I like that Storm is able to pump out the player 2s for characters that came literally just a couple months before, where Jada seems to take a little bit longer. That's what I said. I didn't say it was a huge deal. I didn't say it was a minor deal. I just said it was a thing that I preferred. And now it's some huge deal. Come on, man. Get over it, man. It's not that big of a deal. Well, it's cool. Can I say that? It's cool. I like that. Is that okay? It's cool. And then I'll literally get people on this video that says, why are you yelling? I'm not yelling. I'm just trying to make the stream. There's too many streams out there in the action figure community where they literally just talk like this the whole time. Literally no voice change. Literally no emotion. Just the whole time they just talk like this. Oh, cool. Like, there's too many people in the community that don't seem to have, like, a real personality, which is fine. But I'm just a little more animated. I'm not actually yelling. Do I care about any of this stuff to that point? No. But does it make it a little bit more exciting that I'm freaking out about something like that? Sure. It's going to keep you in here. I'm trying to keep you in here. It's an entertainment, right? So I'm going to freak out a little bit more than just sitting there and saying, like, yeah, that's cool, man. I think it's cool that they do that. But no, if I sound a little bit more animated, right, then things get a little bit more exciting. You want to stay in here. If I literally sat here and talked like this the entire stream, then I'm going to average, like, 15 viewers. And that's facts. And that's fair. It's an entertainment value, folks. I really don't give a shit about the action figures. I don't sit there and lose sleep at night. Oh my God, Storm Arena gets player 2s out faster than Jada. Jesus! That's not a thing. It's just trying to make things a little bit better for you guys, right? I mean, if I had a face cam, maybe that would help things. And I might do a face cam. But I don't know. Do you guys feel like a face cam really helps things out? Like, would you guys enjoy a face cam, or it doesn't make a big deal? Jada's priority is finishing a lime. Storm is 0 for infinity and finishing anything. Yeah, but look how much faster they're going now, Lar. It might be harder to make those bigger figures, but look how fast they're going. They already have 11. Lar, count it with me. 11 Storm Alpha figures announced. 11. That's way faster, right? So maybe they're able to pump out these smaller figures just a little bit quicker. Come on, Lar. Give them a chance. This is a different time for Storm. They're pumping them. No, don't do face cam. Nope, stay behind the scenes. All right. Yeah, do a face cam. We want to see you. Shit, I lost sleep over Storm not putting out Darkstalker pre-orders. I know. Mars was really upset about that, actually. It's Halloween, bro. How could they not put it out? Dude, they do not know what Halloween is. I'm still convinced that they have no idea what Halloween is. They may have heard of it, but it's like, I've heard of Chinese New Year's, but I have absolutely no idea what the holiday is about. I'm sure they've heard of Halloween, but they're not like, oh, wow, let's do that. It's like Homelander scene in Season 2 ending. I don't care that much about face cam, but if you look like the South Park nerd, I promise I don't look like a nerd. It's quite the opposite. I feel like that's why. I feel like people would think I'm like some football jock, because my voice definitely doesn't match what I look like. So I feel like people are going to be like, he's not one of us. He can't sit with us. Get out of here. Go sit with your jock crew. It's like, no. Don't shun me away. Would love tan/brown player 2 T-Hawk. Yeah, see, I feel like we won't get a player 2 T-Hawk until literally 2028. A face cam would bring something different, but they have built this channel without people seeing what you look like. Yeah. You'd lose sleep if you knew Purple Pants Sagat was exclusive and you were chasing it. That's factual. Just because it was Sagat, though. Only Mars? I don't even know that Mars knows what I look like. He might, actually, because he knows my Twitter. And my picture is literally on my Twitter. I bet you just look like a dad. I mean, well, yeah. Brock Lesnar? No, I'm not quite as big as Brock Lesnar. I can't wait. Bet my Baki from BBTS. Bro. Ray. This is about what I feel like. Now, this is not that figure, but I'm going to send you something. Or I'm going to put this on the screen real quick. I want you to literally see this figure and be like, wait. Let me see. I'm going to show you what I feel like this Baki feels like in hand. Wait, do I have it still? I do. I don't know what figure company this is even, but this is literally what the Baki figure feels like in my hand. We seen Richie's chunky fingers? They're not chunky fingers. They're normal size figures. Or fingers. You know what I mean. I tell you, when you get this Baki figure, this is literally what it'll feel like in your hand. This is not the Storm Arena figure. I repeat, this is not the Storm Arena figure. But I don't know what company this is actually that's making these. But this is pretty damn close on how it feels in your hand. 5'10", $140. 5'11", 200 pounds. So you were close, but way off on the weight. This literally is what the Baki Storm Arena figure feels like. Nah, Keaton, you're great. This is what it's going to feel like in your hand. I don't know what company is making these, but that's not far off from the actual scale of Storm Arena. This is literally like, if I were to show you something, damn, looks good. Look at that scaling. That's not my hand. This is another company that's making it. But if we were to compare it, right? So let's just do this, right? Let's go like this. So if we literally, like, if we were to do Storm Arena size, right? This is about the size of the figure in your hand. Like, okay, my God, hold on. Instead of just miniature, it's literally like that in your hand. It still feels incredibly small, right? Maybe like that. That's about what the Baki figure feels like in your... Okay, maybe a little bit wider. More like that. That's about what the figure of the Storm Arena scale feels in your hand. It's nuts. It's not quite that, but it's not much. I mean, we're talking... just a little bit bigger. Like that. is probably what it feels like in your hand. And that's probably accurate scaling. It's still insanely small. Where'd it go? Hold on. I lost it. But yeah. Isn't Baki figure like 5.5 inches? I mean, it feels so small. It's crazy. Put it next to Storm Arena Ryu? I mean, I don't have that picture, but I do have another picture. That's not Mezco Toys, but I do have like a comparison on like it standing next to Sagat. Right? I do. I do. Hold on. I do have this photo. Look how small he... This is Mars's photo. So, I don't know, man. You can see how small they are. No, I own the Baki, but I don't... He's in the box. I could eventually take that picture. Maybe I have that video. Hold on. Hold on, maybe I do. So look. There's that. So 5'9", 5'4". And that, look, his head is even a little bit raised on that. So you think that looks like a 5'4" next to, I don't know. Look at, Guile is supposed to be 6 foot on Jada. And he's literally taller than Yujiro and like towers over Baki. Which this seems accurate, but this Yujiro seems inaccurate on scaling. Like this might actually be a 5'4" next to a 6-footer. But again... And see, even the paint, if you look at the paint right here, there is QC issues still on these figures. Like, look at, the paint is spilling over to the pants. I can't tell if mine is on backwards. Mars, can you tell from this photo if my leg is put on backwards? But you can see how small the figures are compared to. But again, they're different scaling. I know people are going to say, oh, well, that's because the scaling is 1/12. Well... Apparently, the hair helps, yeah. Baki's the correct height, yeah. Mine's not? Okay, mine is fine. But yeah, you can tell. I think everybody can confirm. I think that's why the Yujiro is not selling that well. Well, I say not selling that well. It's probably selling fine, but it's not selling out like the Baki and all that stuff. But that's it, folks. It's been about 2 hours. It went longer than I expected, but we had a lot of fun today. And just know, if you've made it this far, I need the like. And you've made it this far, you owe it to yourself to give the video a like. Or something. I don't care if it's a like. Make it a dislike. I don't care. But you deserve to yourself that you've stayed in here long enough to at least interact with the video. And I appreciate you guys that stuck around. Yeah, the time does fly. It does. And if you already did it, then don't worry. The comment doesn't reflect to you. But I appreciate claim to be 1/12 for a time. And then even Storm Collectibles claim to be 1/12 when really they're much closer to 1/10. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Lar. But you guys are great. I've got more videos coming. I don't know. Things change so sporadically in this community because something will drop a pre-order. We'll get news that a figure's... It's just crazy. But just know that a video's not far behind. If you've made it this far, I love you all. I promise I don't care that much about the figures. I just try to make the stream interacting. If I'm yelling, if I'm whatever, it's just more for entertainment purposes. I really don't care that much. But I think you guys are great. for all that stayed, and I will see you guys on the next one. Richie Figs, later.
Yeah.